Have you ever felt like a fraud? Like at any moment, someone will discover you're not as competent as they thought. This is a sentiment that more people than you might imagine grapple with every single day. It's like a shadow that follows you around, whispering doubts into your ear, making you question your own abilities, your own worth. This is imposter syndrome, a psychological pattern where individuals doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent, internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Imagine, you've just landed a big client or your business has started gaining traction, but instead of celebrating your success, you're consumed by anxiety. You're convinced that you've just gotten lucky, that you don't really have the skills or the knowledge to deliver what's expected of you. You're terrified that any moment now, someone will see through your facade and realize that you're not as capable as they thought you were. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's because imposter syndrome is a silent battle that a lot of us are fighting, especially entrepreneurs. It's silent because we don't talk about it. We're so afraid of being found out that we don't dare admit even to ourselves that we're struggling. Instead, we put on a brave face and keep pushing forward, all the while feeling like we're just one step away from being unmasked. But here's the truth. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are one. It's not a reflection of your actual abilities or accomplishments. It's a distortion, a trick of the mind that keeps you feeling small and insignificant even when you're anything but. Imposter syndrome is incredibly common, especially among high achievers. Even the most successful entrepreneurs have dealt with it. They've felt the fear, the doubt, the insecurity, but they've also found ways to overcome it, to push past the self-doubt and keep moving forward. And you can too. Imposter syndrome can be stifling, but remember, even the most successful entrepreneurs have dealt with it. Success often seems effortless from the outside, but behind closed doors, there are unseen struggles. Consider Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks. He grew up in a poor neighborhood and was the first in his family to go to college. Despite this, he was plagued with a nagging feeling of not being good enough, a classic symptom of imposter syndrome. As he climbed the corporate ladder, he often felt like he was just a kid from the projects who didn't belong in the world of business. But Schultz didn't let these feelings of self-doubt hold him back. Instead, he used them as fuel to work harder and prove his worth, eventually turning Starbucks into a global powerhouse. Then there's Sheryl Sandberg, the chief operating officer of Facebook. Sandberg is one of the most powerful women in tech, but she too has battled imposter syndrome. She once admitted in an interview that there are still days when she wakes up feeling like a fraud, not sure she should be where she is. Yet despite these feelings, Sandberg has continued to break barriers and shatter glass ceilings. Her journey shows us that imposter syndrome doesn't discriminate. It can affect anyone, regardless of their level of success. And it's not just Schultz and Sandberg. Countless successful entrepreneurs have faced this nagging doubt, this feeling of being an imposter. They've questioned their worth, their abilities, and their place in the world of business. But they've also shown us that these feelings don't have to hold us back. Instead, they can be a powerful motivator, a push to work harder, to strive for excellence, and to prove our worth to ourselves and others. These stories serve as a reminder that even the most successful individuals have their own insecurities and doubts to overcome. Success doesn't come easy. It's often the result of overcoming these unseen struggles. Remember, the road to success is paved with trials and tribulations. So when you're feeling like an imposter, remember you're in good company. You're not alone in your struggle, and it's these very struggles that can fuel your journey to success. Imposter syndrome isn't just feeling inadequate, it's a complex psychological phenomenon. It's like being a stranger in your own life, feeling as though you're wearing a mask, pretending to be someone you're not. You may have heard the term, but what exactly is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is a pervasive feeling of self-doubt, insecurity, or fraudulence despite often overwhelming evidence to the contrary. It strikes smart, successful individuals, and it can be particularly debilitating to entrepreneurs. Why? Because entrepreneurs are often high achievers, people who set the bar extremely high for themselves and are used to surpassing it. Now imagine constantly feeling that no matter what you've achieved, no matter how much validation you receive from the outside world, it's never enough. You feel like a fraud, and you're convinced that one day people around you will see through the facade. That's the reality for those battling imposter syndrome. This syndrome doesn't discriminate, it affects both men and women, young and old, across all professions. However, it's often more prevalent among entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are in the unique position of constantly putting their ideas and themselves out there. They're innovators, leaders, and risk takers. They're always on the edge of the unknown, and that can be a fertile ground for self-doubt to fester. The effects of imposter syndrome are not just confined to an individual's mind. It can have serious implications on one's mental health, leading to excessive stress, anxiety, low self-confidence, and even depression. Moreover, it can hinder one's performance, stifle creativity, and discourage risk-taking, all of which are crucial for entrepreneurial success. But the good news is that recognizing and understanding imposter syndrome is already a significant step in the right direction. By acknowledging these feelings, we can begin to see them for what they truly are: illusions, not truths. And remember, even the most successful entrepreneurs have felt like imposters at times. It's a part of the human experience. Understanding imposter syndrome is the first step towards overcoming it. And rest assured, it's a battle you can win. Onward to the next step. Overcoming imposter syndrome isn't about eliminating self-doubt. It's about learning to navigate through it. Imagine you're on a ship in the middle of a storm. The waves are ferocious, the wind is howling, and you're feeling terrified. This is what imposter syndrome can feel like. But you don't just abandon ship. You learn to sail through the storm. Similarly, overcoming imposter syndrome isn't about completely eradicating your self-doubt, but learning how to sail through it. So how do we navigate these stormy seas of self-doubt? Let's start by acknowledging our negative thoughts. It's okay to feel like an imposter. It's okay to feel as if you're not good enough. It's okay to feel like you're not as capable as others perceive you to be. These feelings are normal, and most of us experience them at some point. The key is not to let these thoughts control us. Now imagine you're in a boxing ring with your negative thoughts. Instead of letting them knock you out, try reframing them. For example, if you think, "I'm not good enough for this," reframe it to, "I'm going to learn so much from this experience." If you think, "I'm a fraud," reframe it to, "I have unique skills and experiences that make me valuable." It's like learning to dodge and counterpunch in the boxing ring. Next, let's talk about seeking support. We all need a little help sometimes, and that's okay. Reach out to a mentor or someone you trust. Share your feelings, and you might be surprised to find out that they too have experienced similar feelings of self-doubt. They can provide you with advice, encouragement, and perspective that can help you navigate through your imposter syndrome. Now, let's shift our focus to celebrating our personal achievements. Often, we're so focused on our shortcomings that we forget to acknowledge our accomplishments. Take a moment to reflect on your journey. Think about the challenges you've overcome, the skills you've learned, and the progress you've made. Give yourself a pat on the back for these achievements, no matter how small they might seem. This act of self-recognition can help boost your confidence and counteract feelings of imposter syndrome. Lastly, remember that overcoming imposter syndrome doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey filled with ups and downs. There will be times when you feel like you're making progress and times when you feel like you're back at square one. That's okay. The important thing is that you keep moving forward, keep learning, and keep growing. Remember, overcoming imposter syndrome is a journey, not a destination. So, keep sailing through the storm, keep boxing with your negative thoughts, keep seeking support, and keep celebrating your achievements. You're stronger than you think, and you're capable of more than you know. As an entrepreneur, your confidence is your most valuable asset. This simple truth is the cornerstone of entrepreneurship. Confidence is the lifeblood that fuels your journey, the compass that guides your decisions, and the shield that protects you from the storms of doubt and uncertainty. So, how do you go about building this invaluable asset? First and foremost, it begins with setting achievable goals. Don't aim to conquer the world in a day. Instead, break down your grand vision into smaller, manageable tasks. Each time you accomplish a task, no matter how small, it's a win. And each win, in turn, fuels your confidence. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But what happens when things don't go as planned? Embrace it. There's a common misconception that failure is the antithesis of success, when in reality, it's a crucial part of the process. Each failure is a lesson, a stepping stone on your path to success. When you start viewing failure not as an end, but as an opportunity to learn and grow, you'll find your confidence growing in leaps and bounds. Now, while it's important to be resilient and keep pushing forward, it's equally important to practice self-care. Entrepreneurship is a marathon, not a sprint. Burning yourself out won't do you any good. Take time for yourself. Recharge, refresh, rejuvenate. Investing in your well-being is investing in your confidence. But building confidence doesn't stop at self-care and embracing failures. It also involves surrounding yourself with positivity. This could be in the form of a supportive network, a mentor, or even inspirational literature. A positive environment fosters a positive mindset, and a positive mindset is a fertile ground for confidence to grow. And finally, believe in your abilities. You are here because you have something unique to offer. Your ideas, your vision, your passion, these are the things that make you stand out. These are the things that make you, you. Don't ever underestimate the power of your individuality. But remember, confidence isn't about knowing everything. It's not about never making mistakes or never having doubts. Confidence is about trusting in your ability to figure things out, to learn, to adapt, and to grow. It's about being comfortable with not knowing everything and still having the courage to take the leap. So take that leap, make that decision, embrace those failures. Because every step you take, every risk you embrace, every failure you learn from is a brick in the foundation of your confidence. Building confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being comfortable with who you are and what you bring to the table. Because in the end, it's not the idea, the product, or the service that makes a successful entrepreneur. It's the person behind it. It's you. Leaving the imposter behind isn't about becoming someone else. It's about embracing your authentic self. You see, the entrepreneurial journey is as unique as the individuals who embark upon it. There's no one-size-fits-all blueprint to success, and that's the beauty of it. Every entrepreneur has their own story, their own set of skills, their own trials, and their own triumphs. And it's these unique experiences that shape us, that form the foundation of our authenticity. So let's talk about authenticity and why it's such a powerful tool in overcoming imposter syndrome. Authenticity is about being genuine, about being true to who you are and what you believe in. It's about owning your story, your strengths, your weaknesses, and everything in between. When you're authentic, you're not trying to fit into someone else's mold. You're not trying to live up to someone else's expectations. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, you're proudly standing in your truth, embracing your unique journey, your unique skills, and your unique self. But how does authenticity help in overcoming imposter syndrome? Well, when you're authentic, you're not constantly comparing yourself to others. You're not constantly doubting your abilities or worrying about being exposed as a fraud. Instead, you're focused on your own journey, on your own growth, and on your own success. You're not trying to be the next Bill Gates or Elon Musk. You're trying to be the best version of yourself, and that's the key. Because when you're trying to be someone else, you're setting yourself up for failure. But when you're striving to be the best you can be, you're setting yourself up for success. So how do you embrace authenticity? Start by acknowledging your unique journey and your unique skills. Recognize your accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem. Celebrate your victories, learn from your failures, and always strive for growth. Be proud of who you are and what you've achieved. Next, let go of the need to be perfect. Perfection is an illusion, it's unattainable, and it's unnecessary. Instead, strive for progress. Strive for improvement, strive for excellence. Finally, surround yourself with people who appreciate your authenticity. People who celebrate your successes, support you in your struggles, and encourage you to be your best self. Remember, the only true imposter is the one who tries to be someone they're not. So embrace your unique journey, your skills, and most importantly, yourself. And as we wrap up, here's a call to action for you. Share this video with someone who might be battling imposter syndrome. Because when we help each other overcome the imposter within, we're not just building better entrepreneurs, we're building a better, more authentic world.